There is a premium for it. It shouldn't be the overriding reason that you do it, but at the same time it's an encouragement. I think the benefits from a visual point of view, from an amenity point of view, are just so great. We're in Ballygreen, just outside Killaloe, about 2 miles from Killaloe. Ballygreen is, from the Irish, the townland of gardens, and I presume it goes back to the time when a lot of tillage went on around this locality, when the population density was much more higher than it is obviously today. So the area itself, Ballygreen is one of the smaller townlands in the country. It's only about 100 acres in extent. In fact, most of this farm occupies almost the entire townland. Originally, I kept a number of suckler cows here and reared and sold weanlings. But in recent years, I moved into dairy calves, rearing them to beef. And in more recent years, I've moved out of that, and now I buy in weanlings and I rear them to beef. The farm itself, as I said, is it's divided into fairly sizable field blocks. I think at some stage in the past the fields were enlarged. The land is free draining because there is a lot of gravel and sand underneath the soil. So it's a farm where you can leave cattle out reasonably early in the spring, maybe February, in middle of February on to the 1st of March. And they can generally stay out here until November, maybe touching December. But generally, I would say the housing time is around the beginning of November. Yes, nature is fairly abundant here. A lot of hares, foxes, and pheasants from time to time as well. The bird life is fairly active, obviously, in the springtime. And the animal life is, as I say, mainly hares and foxes. On the higher ground then, unfortunately, a lot of the deer are beginning to encroach. Well, I've actually attended quite a few courses on farming, off courses through Teagasc, and I found out that the rivers around here are quite good quality. But there are certain rivers in some parts of the country whose quality isn't as good because a lot of Sitka spruce and forest has been grown on the foothills of the Slieve Barn over the years. The deciduous trees and the type of trees would be more suitable to the farm here. Well, the scheme, the Natural Forest scheme that was launched about a year ago, certainly attracted my attention because it is possible to plant areas as small as 0.1 of a hectare from there up to a hectare, and that attracted me because there are corners and areas of the farm that would be suitable for planting. Not extensive areas, but small areas. And the idea then that you're protecting a stream and moving the grazing and the fertilizing and the spreading of slurry away from the streams, that also attracted me. Yes, having read about this forest scheme, I actually Googled foresters who were involved, who would help with the process. And I came across John Fahey from Premium Forestry in Loughrea in County Galway. He visited the farm. We looked at the area that we earmarked for the forestry, and he felt that it was a suitable area. It was possible to plant about a hectare. Well, the tree variety chosen by John, or the forester, the advisor, was obviously birch in the wetter parts of it. There's also alder, and there are some oak trees as well, I think, along the edge of it here. Firstly, the area of forestry is close to a stream. It's generally a wet area with a lot of rushes and growing on it. So it's attractive from the point of view of growing trees because it's wet but it's not waterlogged. It's adjacent to the grazing area. It's ideal from the point of view of keeping stock out from the river, plus protecting the river and creating a space for nature, which will be created obviously as the trees mature. Well, I think it's nice, as I've said already, to look at it now, but also to say that in a number of years' time, maybe when I'm not around, that somebody else will say, well, at least it looks well. It has enhanced the farm. I think it's something to pass on to people. It will be a nature preserve. It helps the environment. It's going to capture carbon. Its benefits are going to be many. Plus the fact that some people will be able to walk down here and maybe walk through this area as a forest in years to come, rather than an area that was sort of not so attractive. So I think it's turning a marginal land area into a useful facility, into a useful corridor for nature, whatever you like to call it. Well, I've already spoken to other farmers, neighbours about it. I've mentioned John and John Fahey as the forester. I've recommended it. I would recommend it highly to anybody. Everybody has some part of their farm which, either because of its appearance or because of the nature of the soil, is not an area that looks attractive. So I would encourage anybody to look at this alternative. It is a use for it. There is a premium for it. It shouldn't be the overriding reason that you do it, but at the same time it's an encouragement. I think the benefits from a visual point of view, from an amenity point of view, are just so great. And it as I said originally, it can be a small area. It doesn't have to be a hectare. It could be part of a hectare, but nevertheless it still has its great benefits.